GM's Tricks of the Trade 68 or 66, depending on who's counting. We have no Chuck today. Tim will be in and out. So we'll see how this all goes. I assume that we are live and that we have sound. Tim, do we have sound? I'm going to refresh this. Maybe, maybe not. Troll Slayer 3. How's it going, Commander? Can you hear me? I have lost all of my handlers. Is that what they call them? I don't know if... I don't know where they are. They've wandered off somewhere. Good deal. So Jason and I were talking, Jason Fay and I were talking about movies from the 80s. And he's a huge fan of the cartoon. I'm not that huge. The cartoon's okay. I'm not that gigantic of a fan of the thing. But that's what got us started talking about it. There was this, one of those horrible 80s movies, fantasy 80s movies, where I can't remember much about it. There's a scene in an arena where everybody's fighting, and one of the characters he runs forward. He's a tiny little guy with two little daggers, and someone has a hammer and slams the hammer down on him, and it flattens him on the arena, the arena stage. It was pure awesome. Talking about horrible 80s movies. So that movie is called Troll Slayer 3. Good stuff. Yeah, exactly. Those fantasy movies out of the 80s were they just weren't good. You know, Dragon Slayer was good. What was Excalibur was good. There's a couple good that came out of it, but there were a lot. Yeah, we're like they did a number 3. I can't even find it on the internet. That's funny. I'm looking on YouTube to see if I can get a trailer, but I can't even find it. Maybe it's 3 L's. Maybe I misspelled it. That's highly likely. Why would there be 3 L's in Troll Slayer? Apparently it's a video game as well. Yeah, I guess Warhammer has it. How's it going, Epi? I guess Warhammer has the Troll Slayers there. Doesn't that the big orange-headed... Not orange-headed, but he's got the orange mohawk or something. Yeah, I can't find anything on it. That's funnier than crap. Horrible movie. Horrible, horrible thing. No, it can't be 3 L's. There's no way. There would be no reason for it to be... Maybe it's... I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing. Nothing's coming up. It didn't even make it. It did not even make... Yeah, you can't even find it on IMDb. That's just sad. Is it maybe Todd misremembered the name? Troll Slayer. How's it going, Willie? We're trying to track down a movie. Okay, here's Troll Slayer. No, that's a novel. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Let me text Todd. Todd may be on crack. Maybe he's remembered. Hey, Todd, we can't find that movie anywhere on YouTube or IMDb, period. I am streaming right now, by the way. So our good friend Todd, who of course works for Troll Lord Games, found himself diagnosed with COVID. So he's off the deck for the next couple of weeks, as he is at home. I think he's working on Gods and Monsters now. There's some tiny little pieces he's got to put into Gods and Monsters that he's Slayer. Maybe it's just Slayer. It's a COVID fever dream. Exactly. Slayer, something the Slayer maybe? Was there a Slayer movie? Man, I can't remember. I like that. Todd's having a COVID fever dream. How's it going? I don't think it's Hawk the Slayer. I remember it's like a number 3. Whatever it was. I was thinking it was Deathstalker. But I couldn't find the reference. Was it perhaps Deathstalker? Because I know there's a Deathstalker 1, 2, 3, and 4. Troll Hunter. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Troll Hunter 3. I think that's it. Ah, the 80s. Well, what the hell? We're going to get to Jim's Tricks of the Trade soon. Well, no, that's that new movie. Or is there an 80s movie called Troll? I don't know. We'll wait to see what Todd says. Todd's got a crazy memory. Okay, so Troll Hunter's the modern thing. Todd's got a crazy memory for this trivia stuff. He can't remember what products we're putting out next week, but he can remember what actor got killed in an arena and whatever. I don't know, crazy stuff. There you go, Mr. Obadiah. Make work a little bit more enjoyable. It might be Hawk the Slave, but I swear to God it was a number 3. I think it's Deathstalker. I think that's what it is. Those movies were horrid. They were just terrible movies. Let's see, Deathstalker 3 Arena. Let's see what comes up. It's Deathstalker. I'm like 90% certain it's Deathstalker. That stuff looks very, very familiar. Oh, good times, good times. What was that other one? There was Sword and Sorcery. Well, it was Deathstalker. It's definitely Deathstalker. I remember that. So it's Deathstalker 3. They Live. Oh yeah. The best. Oh shit! I can't remember the name of this one either. It's She. We've talked about this one on the stream before. She something. She something, and it's got Xenon in it. Every time one of the heroes cuts part of Xenon off, he materializes a new part of himself, and it's just. So there's 2 of them, and then they're dancing and they're singing show tunes while they attack the the protagonist. I remember his name is Xenon. I'm looking to see if it'll pop up real quick because I can't remember the name of that movie. She something. Xenon. She movie. Oh yeah, here it is. So the movie is named She. So this isn't what Todd and I were talking about, but if you got a minute. So Deathstalker 3 got an impressive 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb. That doesn't sound fun. So if you get a chance, watch this Deathstalker thing. It's the She thing with Xenon that I just posted. It's absolutely hysterical. User review. This is Deathstalker. I only saw this from Master Theater or whatever that thing is. 3000, and this movie is a perfect candidate. Bad acting, bad effects, stupid story. John Allen Nelson or Relson, your choice, loses his English accent within 5 minutes of this movie, and the guy playing Truck Sardis is wearing the shortest skirt ever worn on a man before. From what I understand, there are 4 of these films. I think MST should have done all of them, but they will take this one. But we'll take this one. Potatoes are what we eat. Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember when Deathstalker came out. I don't know that it ever made it to theaters, but Todd and I watched it. I remember us watching it. We probably rented it on a VHS, right? That's what we did back in the 80s, and watched that crazy thing. We watched all kinds of stuff. Todd and I would watch. We had an apartment together about a year. And that dude and I would we'd work, get home from work, rent a couple movies. If we weren't playing D&D, we'd be sitting there watching both good and bad movies. We watched Aliens, and I didn't see that at the theater. I saw it on VHS. Excellent movie. But at any rate, Deathstalkers, She, and whatever else aside, we are here for GM's Tricks of the Trade, number 68. And I think, what are we doing today? Always expect the unexpected. That's what we're talking about today. And we don't have, Chuck is not with us, and he's out taking care of some personal issues, and Tim is, I'm not sure where Tim is. I should probably tell him that I'm streaming. He has wandered off. I'm not sure what's happening to the troll crew. They keep wandering off around 3 in the afternoon. We're gonna have to rein it in. But there you go. So we're talking about yes, Todd confirms it is Deathstalker 3. That is the one. So you're saying this stream is all you? It's just me today. So no disembodied voices from Chuck. Yeah. Well, we'll end up talking about Deathstalker and She for the next 30 minutes. So there you go. What better time for office drinks than when you know the boss is busy? Yeah, there you go. Bastards! Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's just been disappearing in the afternoons. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm not paying attention enough or what. You know, we all remotely work, so it's one of those things. It's one of the things about working like TLG does. You know, Peter's actually in England, and Jason Walton is in Canada, the other side of Canada. Not that Canada's far away, but he's in British Columbia, so he's way out there. So he's 3 hours off, and everybody's hours are skewed. Tim gets up at 5, I think, and Davis gets up at 2, so Davis works from like 2 to 11. Now Chuck's got a normal day. Chuck is normally on deck. All right, let me kill this. Yeah, there we go. So it's just a lot of mixed hours. It's something, where or on what? So Todd wants to know where we are streaming. Go to the Troll Lord homepage, period. Click the circle, top left hand, period, and Twitch. Damn it. It put and which. Okay. And Twitch. Should get you there. And you know, it should alarm me a little bit that half of the Troll Lords don't know how to get to the Troll Lord Twitch channel, but it doesn't really. It doesn't surprise me even a little bit. Of course, there isn't AMA, but I see the beginning of a goatee. Maybe have you ever had a big old beard? I did. I wore a beard from, let's see, I got out of the Army in 93. I started after that, so I wore it up until about, wow, I think I wore it about 2007 or something like that. I may have cut it off at once or twice in the middle all there. But I had a beard until 2007 and finally shaved it. And now it's just at that itchy stage, and it's fixing to get, here in about an hour after this stream, is going to get cut off. Yeah, no, it's no goatee. I've never done the goatee or the, what's the little thing called where they just grow it here? I can't remember what that's called. A soul patch, yes, the little soul patch. That's just not for me. The love brush. Well, that's a good moniker for it there, Willie. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's the best way to sell it. Maybe it is. Get a different demographic. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, this is all going to get shaved off, and my hair's getting too long too. It's all about driving me bonkers. Everything's got to go. All right, so at any rate, we are here to do GM's Tricks of the Trade, and what are we doing? Always expect the unexpected. So this is one of those things that pops up at every table, probably every game at least once, if not more than once, where you're running the game, you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, your overland, your dungeon, whatever, and then one of the players does or says something that completely derails everything, and off they go in another direction. You know, whether it's by accident or purpose, or they got bored or whatever it is. Suddenly your game is not where you wanted it to be, and it's going you know, that way. And now you're going to have to stop, shift, and figure out what to do. It is Movember. Let your freak flag fly. Grow it out. Yeah, none of that. It's just so itchy. It's at that itchy stage. All of you guys know when you get a beard, until it's fully in, it's oily and it's itchy, and no amount of whatever, it's got to go. It's just got to go. But at any rate, so this week's GM's Tricks of the Trade is about just a few tricks to deal with that sudden change of pace from the character's perspective, the sudden direction shift that your game takes. Still talking to Todd here, trying to get him onto the Twitch stream. Good Lord of mercy. All right, that's enough of this nonsense. I'm going to turn that around. So, all right. So first up, trick of the trade number 1. So probably this isn't the most common. Stop shaving it off. This is, yeah. If I would just let it go, it'd probably be fine. I can't turn it. I've gotten to where I can't stand, and this happened in the Army, I can't stand my hair on my ears because it touches my glasses, and then I put my glasses on and they'll end up, kind of cattywamped or whatever. That drives me absolutely batshit crazy. I really, somewhere around the age of 48, 47, 49, how's it going retro? I began to take a shift in the way I look at things around me, and if things annoy me or inconvenience me, I try to remove them from just remove them entirely. Fix it all the way down to the nub, as I like to say, or just get rid of it, because I don't like to be annoyed. So all those minor annoyances, looking for your keys, whatever it is. I even got down to where I only wear one type of sock, so I don't have to think about matching socks up at all. It's all the same damn sock, so it just all gets done and easy. It just makes life a little bit easier. And anything to make life a little bit easier, with just the sheer volume of password resets that I have to do on a monthly basis, anything that I can do to make life easier is a good thing. I do that too since I turned 47, but I'm already running out of places to hide. Yeah, that's the key there. A lot of the annoyances you just can't remove. There's some legal issues with pulling them out of your life. Oh, yeah. The hair thing. Now, that I got to tell you, Lord Dailies, that's funny because I was telling my wife, nothing's really bugged me about getting older. I just don't care. I haven't noticed it much. I'm 52 or 3. I don't know. I'm 52 or 53, something like that. I don't care. But the hair, it's just too much. The nose hair really is beginning to piss me off. I'm going to have to get one of those little things that you do your nose with. That stuff. Because I don't want to be that eyebrow guy, So I don't want to do that. See, anyway, I derailed you there. Back to role-playing when PCs take a return in the right. I live next to an army base. There are a lot of places I can hide bodies. Oh, there you go. So long as you've got space, that's the way to do it. Hair migrates from scalp to nose, here and back. Yes, it does. It's very strange. I'm not sure what evolution is doing here, but it needs to quit. That's the age you're getting on when you don't even quite know exactly how old you are. Yeah, I have no idea. I can't keep up. I always add 1 year to where I am, and my wife corrects me. So, I don't care. I just don't care. It stopped mattering when I was somewhere in my mid-20s. I just didn't give a crap. So, whatever. Just move on. We're all getting old. There's nothing you can do about it. Sucks. Move on. Or it doesn't suck. However you look at it. All right, so back to the task at hand. GM's tricks of the trade. So role-playing. So this is the first thing that I like to do. It's not my favorite thing to do. But anytime the game takes a sudden shift in a different direction, it's a really good time to try to engage the characters in role-playing. And really what you want to do, because, if it's taking this shift as a GM, you are going to have to figure something out fast, because they're going in that direction. You're either going to have to stop, and I used to do that. I used to stop. Okay, guys, game's on a different direction. I need a couple hours to regroup, and then I'd go to the house and regroup. Well, that's really not an option anymore. Hasn't been for the better part of a decade. But so what I try to do is what you want to do is distract the players. And a great way to distract the players is to get them to role play amongst themselves about what just happened or what is going to happen or the direction in which they are going. And chances are, if it's a big enough shift and you've got at least two people who get into role playing, that shouldn't be an issue. So that's the first thing that kind of comes to mind. The first trick of the trade is to try to buy yourself some time through encouraging role-playing. Now, the trick to this is you want them to role-play amongst themselves. You don't want an NPC involved. You don't want a wounded, goblin involved or a prisoner or any of that mess. You really want to be uninvolved. So while they're role-playing out whatever it is that they're doing, you can sit down and start making some quick notes about what you're going to do for the next 2 hours of game or whatever it is. Because that's really what you're doing, is you're finding something to fill that hole that they just opened up by shifting gears. And, you're not going to need a lot of time to do it. An encounter is going to take up a couple of hours, whatever. There's 1,000 things you can do, but you just need a couple of minutes to make the shift. And this way, the game continues. There's no real loss of speed. You're doing good. So what does he have here? Now, what is this movie? I should know this. In the panel here, always expect the unexpected. Oh yeah, so that's the title. That's right. That's the title of today's GM's Tricks of the Trade. Always expect the unexpected. I do hate the amount of hair on my ears. Yes, Combat Training Center in Gagetown, New Brunswick, Canada. There you go. Role playing also lets them real info that a GM can build into a plot hook's adventures themselves. Reveal info. Yeah, that's a good point, Lord Alias, because that's really cool. That's a great point, actually. Because once they start role-playing, you can start picking up. If you're listening while you're making the notes, whatever you're going to do, you can kind of pick up on what they are going or are wanting to do and start integrating some of that into what's coming next. That way, they actually shifted the game in this dramatic direction, but you're able to, and they anticipate something, and you're able to weave their anticipations into the game, which makes it even more enjoyable for them, which is going to make it in the long run more enjoyable for you, of course. They live with Rowdy Roddy Piper, isn't it? There you go. Now, Bloodwild. Now I want to watch They Live. Is that what this movie is? With they take the eyeglasses off and like there's aliens. Man, it has been so long since I've seen it. Yeah, that's They Live. Isn't that the chewing gum movie? That's the I came here to kick ass and chew gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum or something like that. You know, you gotta, yes, but yeah, you gotta hand it to the 80s. It was creative. It was a very creative decade. There was all kinds of craziness in the 80s. It's a good decade. I've been waxing nostalgic a little bit for the 80s and 70s lately. I don't know why. I don't know what triggered it, and there's nothing in particular to have triggered it, but something did. But at any rate, so a good trick of the trade is to shift the gears, get the characters role playing somewhat. So is that who that guy is taking his sunglasses? Rowdy Roddy Piper. That's the fellow taking his sunglasses off, right? And it has been Valley of the Spiders with William Shatner. Oh my good God, Valley of the Spiders. Is that the one? So I was little. That had to come out in the 70s, I think. I was teeny tiny. Is that the one where Shatner's got his hand on the table? You know, he's got his hand on the table and he's holding a pistol and he shoots and blows his fingers off. Shoots a couple of his fingers off. I swear that's Valley of the Spiders because there's spiders everywhere. And then there's Attack of the Giant Lupines. What's a rabbit? It was the guy who played Bones in Star Trek, DeForest Kelley. DeForest Kelley was in this movie about giant rabbits. Oh, Lord of mercy. Night of the Lupus, yes. Jesus. What a movie. Of course, now part of that is the whole B-movie thing they're trying to be. And that's going to be lost on modern generations, I think. They're trying to be funny. They're just making stupid crap at this point. The Blob or whatever. I mean, that's just movie makers having a lot of fun making stupid movies. I could easily see getting into that. I like doing... how do we know this is junk? I could easily get into that. Just good stuff. But I'm pretty sure, Lord Dalius, that's where Dude Man shoots off his fingers. I think that's where that is. Great stuff. Could be on record as the movie that features the largest number of real spiders in the scene. Well, there's a lot of spiders in that movie. I remember it from a kid. I mean, I won't go so far as to say it gave me nightmares, but it rattled the cage. In those days, I used to read a lot of animal. I was big into animal stuff. I wanted to be either a zoologist or a biologist when I was a kid, and I missed. I didn't go that direction, but I read a whole bunch of books on animals, and a lot of the fiction that I would read would be animal attack books. You know, things like this spider movie, and I remember there's a book called Alligator I read. There was a bunch of them. Attack of the Killer Crabs. It was about giant crabs coming out. And the funny thing about those books, for a very young man, was these books were filled with people doing normal stuff, very graphic sex scenes, and then animals ripping people apart frequently during the sex scenes. So it was this, for a young man, it was this twisted ball of, whatever, I don't know. That's good stuff. I was going to say Phase 4, but that was ants, not spiders. I don't remember Phase 4. I probably saw it. I watched all kinds of crap. Saturday morning movies, you know how it is. Oceanography, yeah. I loved one of my things was to hunt whale hunters. That was my when I was a kid. Yeah, I like whales. They're just really cool. So, but yeah, I don't know. Time does whatever it does, and I never got attacked by a giant alligator, not yet, anyways, or giant crabs, or any of it. So, what are you gonna do? All right, so on to number 2 here. Character descriptions. Yeah, so here's another good one. So this is probably the easiest and probably. No, this is the one that I don't use this the most, but probably the second most. I'll stop and say, okay, this is a good time to everyone describe your characters, and let's go into detail at this point because I want to get a good picture of what's going. Now that we're going in this direction, I want to get a good picture of what's happening. And then you invariably at least half of your table is going to be really into their characters and describing a lot, and it's going to take up 20-30 minutes of the whole thing, and it's good. And then as they're doing all these character descriptions, you can figure out your whatever it is that you're doing. Again, it's kind of a delaying tactic. All right, so now all right, Big Danger, you made fun of my giant crabs book. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Attack. I think it was Attack of the Killer Crabs. Attack of the Giant Crabs. I don't know what happened to that book. It's probably somewhere on a shelf of mine. Because it wasn't like huge, like 1,000-foot crabs. It was just these giant crabs that were attacking this resort. Man, none of these books look right. Good God. No, I don't see it, but it's out there somewhere. Good times. Maybe mine was a second printing, you never know. Attack of the Crab Monsters. No, it wasn't a crab monster. Night of the Crabs, that may have been it. I don't know, crazy books. There was a lot of these books that came out in the 70s that were just animal attacking people books. And I ate them up. I absolutely loved it. I don't know why. I don't know why. How's it going, Decimus? My character is big. He looks mean, kind of rough. Yeah, tough guy, right? Yeah, that's going to be half. That's going to be half of your players. But hopefully you get a good half of them that really get into the whole thing and they start describing the characters and bring something really good to the table. The attack of the somewhat largest crabs. That's what they were, because they're about the size of, I don't know, on the cover they don't have, there's people not getting picked up. There's just crabs coming, I just remember the cover. It's a woman in a bikini. I can't remember. I'm going to have to dig that book out. I'll dig it out. Surely I still have it. I know I've got Alligator. I saw that not too long ago. Now, Alligator was actually, kind of spooky in the whole creature under the water, moving swamps, people just doing normal things, and then this alligator destroying people. They did a movie like that last year. Actually watched it the other day on something, Netflix or something. It's about a girl who goes back to rescue her dad during a hurricane and gets attacked. They both get attacked by a giant gator. There's a bunch of gators in town that come up because the water levels come up. It's actually pretty good, I gotta say. It was a little, a little off. A little off the bit, but what was the name of that movie, The Alligator in the Sewers? I know exactly what you're talking about, but I cannot remember what that was. That was the big thing, right, in the 70s. That so many people had let alligators go in the sewers that New York had this whole alligator population, living in the sewers. Of course, it didn't, but but that was the idea. The 70s were an interesting time. My players like to describe weird things. I had one tell me the steps he went through while inventing a sort of Swift Army belt buckle. But that's cool. That's cool, Ordales, and that's what you want. You really want you want players into that stuff because they're really getting into their characters. And if you're in this kind of gear shifting mode, you really want that because it buys you time. I rarely listen to the character descriptions. I'm sitting over there trying to make notes or minimally, mulling over whatever I want to do next. So the more you can bring to it, the better. The more they can bring to it, the better. And it somehow got into a pool. I can't remember. Why let the truth get in the way? Why is this? I have a good story. Yeah, so that's exactly right. That's the whole point. Point of many of these movies. So I watched, I don't know if you guys have watched it, but I watched last year, a couple years ago, Train to Busan. Now, it's a zombie flick. It's one of the best zombie flicks I've ever seen. I think it's Korean, I'm pretty sure. I know it, yes, it's Korean. Train to Busan, absolutely fantastic movie. Loved every minute of it, from open to close. And then, Decimus Knows. Well, they've released a second one. It's called Peninsula. It's Train to Busan Presents Peninsula. It's on... I bought it. I bought it on Apple, I think is where I got it. So it's going to be somewhere, probably Prime or wherever the hell these things go down. It looks kind of crazy. So it's a little bit crazier than the first one, Train to Busan, but it's really good. It's a really good film. Strongly recommended. I 100% agree about it being a great zombie flick. But it really does. You're spot on. It is one of the best zombie movies I've ever seen, and definitely the best in the last few years. And I loved... what's the Woody Harrelson movie? Zombie Kill. Whatever. There's two of them. Definitely check the sequel out. It's now the pacing is different and the action's different. And at first I was like, but I saw the preview. But I watched it and loved it. I absolutely love that movie. I don't know. I watch a lot of Korean films these days because they seem to just make a movie with. It's just a movie. There's no other noise around the movie. There's no lectures or whatever people are doing these days. It's just a fucking movie, which is what I appreciate. There's enough going on that I don't need my entertainment to be filled with googly-goop. Anyone's random thoughts that none of us really care about. So the third one, let us see if I can find. We have lost Chuck, so I'm back on my own. The Sudden Encounter. So this one I don't really care to do often. It's almost... Parasite was the best film I saw this year. I have not seen Parasite. I need to watch that. I keep hearing great things about that. I love the Korean crime movies. They have the best vibes. Oh, dude, Lord Dalius. Man from Nowhere. One of my all-time favorite movies. I'm like 90% certain that's a Korean movie. Man from Nowhere, and there's another one right in that vein. I can't remember. I will go through when I get into those sections of movies. I just keep looking for anything because there's so many good pure action movies that come out of the peninsula now that are just fantastic, and they're just pure fucking action. Absolutely love them. And Indonesia, I think, or is it Malaysia? It's Indonesia. I'm pretty sure Indonesia has quite a few good movies that have come out that I've just thoroughly enjoyed because they're hard-hitting action movies like we got in the 80s and the early 90s when Hollywood was putting out some great films, but they were doing whatever. I don't care what they're doing. But the Koreans are putting out some great films. Just wanted to watch a movie and not get to appreciate it, or like that's it, Athelston. I don't care what anybody's politics. I really don't care. On box, very good. I can't remember the guy I'm thinking of. I think it's the Malaysian guy. Man from Nowhere, if you have not seen that, go watch that movie. I don't even know where it is anymore. It's been a few years since I've seen it. But there's a movie... what is that? It's a good friend of mine put it at Tony Jaa's one-man mission to cripple every stone. Yeah, that's the whole side. This Malaysian action film. We've talked about this before. There's like 3 of them. Damn it! What is that thing called? Where there's also The Block. This may be a Thai film where the whole building is a criminal enterprise, and the cops go in to break it up or something, and all of them get killed but one guy, or maybe 2 guys, and then they're hacking their way through this thing. I'm seeing a whole bunch of stuff pop up here. I really need to make a list of these things because it sounds like we all kind of watch The Raid. Yes, that's it, Decimus. The Raid. The Raid 1 and The Raid 2. Great movies. Adrenaline pumping. Action. It's just great stuff. I think you can still find Man from Nowhere either on Netflix or... Yeah, that's my favorite of them all. The Raid is fantastic, but there's an emotional quality. Okay, here's the movie I'm thinking about, one of them. There's a still from it, but I don't know what it is. See if I can get closer to it. The Man from Nowhere has this emotional quality to it that is hard to integrate. It's very hard to integrate that in a pure adrenaline pumping action movie, but it manages it quite well. So they're saying it is The Raid that I'm thinking of. The Raid 2 maybe I'm thinking of has some great. Both Raid 1 and 2 those aren't action films. The Wolf of Wall Street. All right, I'm done with that. All right, so just whatever. The Wolf of Wall Street is an action film? Come on. All right, so that's completely derailed everything in my thought processes. It just came crashing down. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes this world that we live in is just fucking weird. It's just weird. All right, yeah. So the raid. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. I just don't know anymore. Nothing makes sense. I'm gonna go watch Xenon from She and just enjoy it. Yeah, it's a great movie, and I don't miss a DiCaprio movie. That dude can do just about anything on screen, but I'm not gonna say Wolf of Wall Street's an action film. Okay, all right. So Babunski has still tied up. There you go. I've decided to name this show on YouTube Special T-Shirt Edition. There you go. Yeah, I don't think we talk about James Trace and Drake very much. All right, so let's get back. And raid this. What we're talking about? Sudden encounter. So one of the things I don't do this, but I don't like to do this. When the game shifts and it goes in whatever direction, I'll just throw a sudden encounter at them, and it's easy to do. You just open the monster book to whatever page. There's a monster. There's the encounter. Go. And then there's suddenly action and brawling. And while that's all happening, obviously you can begin to kind of retool the direction that you're going. And I don't really like it because it takes the focus away from what the players just decided to do. And I'm a big fan of players going in their own direction and derailing my games. I love that. It just gives it's it just makes it more fun for me because now I've got to create this over here. So I'm okay with them going in that direction. And when you throw an encounter at them, it kind of knocks things off kilter. However, it definitely will engage them. It'll definitely get people. It'll definitely get them. It'll give you time to focus as they're hacking their way through the bugbear encounter or whatever the hell it happens to be. So definitely an encounter is a great way to go. Not my favorite. My favorite is actually the next. Tome of the Unclean. That book. Actually, I like the book. The title I'm not too fond of. He sends encounters when the players get out of hand. Oh, that's Luther. So Luther has joined us. So Luther the Gallant here is Todd Gray. For those of you who don't know, he has found his way to the Twitch stream, and he has joined us. So Todd is very well versed in my games being derailed because Todd is frequently the one who derails my games. So he knows. Crawl. Yes, Perry. Yes. Crawl. So if you haven't seen Crawl, go into... Don't have any preconceived notions about the way alligators behave or any of that stuff. Go in and just watch Crawl. It's actually a very good action movie. It's got some suspense with it. It's just a good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I actually am a huge fan of female action leads. I absolutely love Mila. I can't say her name. Mila Jovovich. I absolutely love all of her movies. The Resident Evil movies, I actually like, and I know this is a horrible thing to say in our hobby and industry, I like the Resident Evil movies more than I like the Star Trek and Star Wars movies. I thoroughly enjoy Resident Evil. I will go and watch the whole 6 of them? 7? I don't know how many. There's a lot of them. But I'll sit and watch all of those things in a row about once every 2 years or so. So yeah, not many people agree with me, but there you go, Barry. Yes, they're good, ludicrous, enjoyable fun, and it's just Mila Jovovich jumping around, killing people and shooting people and looking badass. And she's got a new movie out called Monster Hunter. Hunting Monsters, I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I just like unmitigated violence, and that movie Crawl just has some great violence in it, and it's just good stuff. Good stuff. Underworld, good movie. She does dress up nice. Yeah, she does dress up nicely in Resident Evil. But there's just something about she does action movies. I didn't care for it that much, but Violet. What is that movie called? Violet something. Violet? No. It's really colorful. It came out in the 90s or something. I can't remember what it was. But she does a lot of Ultraviolet. Yeah. Todd knows. Todd and I watch about the exact same movies. I think we agree on everything except he does not agree that who does it Todd I think look like Glenn Close and Meryl Streep, I think those two women look just alike. I can't tell them apart, and that drives Todd absolutely nuts. The first two Resident Evil movies are better. Yeah, the ones that follow go, like all sequels do. Tim agrees. All sequels kind of go off kilter, mostly. Except Blade Runner, great movie. Blade Runner 2, great movie. But the first two Resident Evil movies are fantastic. First one is just really a great movie. A lot of fun. And then the others they're just fun at that point. But Jovovich does a lot of action films. More so, I think, than anyone except Bruce Willis these days. And he's kind of out of the action film. But, well, Mel Gibson still does some good stuff. I forgot. We're still doing Jim's Tricks of the Trade. I have decided we're going to do a movie. We're going to do a movie Twitch stream. I'm going to talk to Tim and Chuck. We're going to set it up. We're going to launch. Next week, we're going to add a third channel to this. We're just going to talk movies. That's all we're going to do. We're just freaking talking movies. They both look like Wayne Gretzky. Damn, Willie, you went right with the throat on that one. That's awesome. Yeah, I could never tell them apart. They're great actresses. I love them both. One of them was in Jagged Edge. I think that's Glenn Close, right? Yes, that's not Meryl Streep. Yeah. Todd's got to guide me through this all the time. Yeah, but I can't tell them apart. They look just alike. They don't look like Mila Jovovich, so I don't care. So, absolutely love her because she does action movies, and that's the one thing that I think probably everyone in this group agrees or enjoys is action films. And Todd, and he can sit here and make fun of me all he wants, but Todd loves action movies. We're both huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fans, and we watch mostly the same thing because they're just shoot-'em-up movies. Though he has not watched The Raid, nor has he watched Man from Nowhere, and for that, he needs to be punished. But he's got COVID right now, so we'll hold off on the punishments until later, until he comes out of his isolation over at his house. All right, so we are on to Trick of the Trade number 4. Now, this is actually my favorite. This is my favorite once the game goes off rails and goes in a different direction. This is my favorite thing to do, which is just do a recap. And it's sort of like when you come to a stop sign. You're not actually. Your journey hasn't ended. You're just stopping to make a left or a right or to go forward or whatever. So to stay, Todd's like, really? Todd knows. So the nice thing about the recap is the game's gone off. You stop it. Okay, and this is where we are. This is what this is happening. This is what this is happening. And this is way you keep the threads of what happened before, and you can kind of control a little bit what's going forward. And you'd be surprised at how often when you start kind of recounting what happened and dissecting what is going on at the table right then, how often that would help you as a GM, help your mind kind of retool in the direction that you want it to go. And of course, while you're recapping, you're engaging the players so that they're recapping as well. And Todd's great with this. Todd's one of those people. Todd's got a better memory than me, so I'll say, Todd, is this how this happened? And he can say, no, we did this, and so then you get everyone at the table doing the recap, and it's just a great way to kind of reset emotions, reset purpose, reset everything, while not losing what is behind, what you've already done, because you don't want to discard it just because they took your game in a different direction or decided to go a different direction. You don't want to lose what happened. That's still a very important part of minimally the story, if not what is actually, happening or being resolved or, encountered. So you don't want to lose it. So the recap is just a really nice way. Stop. You're at the stop sign. We're going to go left, right, or straight. We were going to go straight, but you want to go left. So here we are. So, well, thank you for that, Todd. I enjoy it, and it makes it's a lot easier when you've got players that are playing back at you, when they're feeding you. It's one of the things, and Todd and I are having the hardest time with it, is struggling with the online gaming, because we're just, I don't know, we're old. I guess that's it. The Conan the Barbarian director's commentary is better than most actual comedies. The director and Arnie and for Arnold mode. Oh, dude, I gotta watch that. I've never seen that. Set in Our Ways. Yes, we'll go with that. We'll go with Set in Our Ways. That's funny, Decimus. I'll have to check that out. I'm always a little reluctant to do behind the scene things, because then I start seeing I start seeing cameras and boomsticks, whatever. That's literally the only two things I know that Hollywood uses is boomsticks and cameras. So I often use the recap to point out important clues the players may have missed or forgotten. Yeah, that's a great point, Willie. That's the nice thing. That's why I think it's my favorite thing to do, because it really is a place to, well, it's a recap. It's just summing everything up. It's bringing all these loose ends together, especially if your game's gone off rail, because then you've got lots of loose ends that you don't want to chunk. I've talked to a few people via email about this type of stuff where the characters went in a different direction, game went off rail, and the GM in frustration just abandoned it. They just, okay, we're just not going to do this. I'm going to do something else. And I never abandon what happened before. I mean, it is rare. I can think of once or twice that I've done it. They go off in this direction. I just take what has happened, what I wanted to happen, whatever adventure we're doing, put it in a drawer, and wait for it to come back around when I can bring it back out. And it might be 10, 20, 30 games later, but it's there. So I try not to ever jettison things. It's still part of the story. It's still part of what they're doing. And then, and if they have gone off rail and you haven't thrown, I know I'm way off topic now, but you haven't tossed what you were doing and you bring it back 20 games later, it's just this kind of like life type thing, you know, because we all, as idiot humans wandering around, things fall out of our radar for 8, 9, 10 months, and then you see the guy again and you're like, oh, hey, Todd, I hadn't talked to you in years. I talked to a friend of mine just the other day that I hadn't talked to, and I talked to him via Facebook once, but 40 years probably. So it's nice to bring these things back into so Tim just posted and say Tim can see and hear me just fine. Thanks, Tim. that was at 4:30. Yeah, Perry, I don't think I've ever been on topic, especially this one. Army of Darkness, there you go. I've never actually watched Army of Darkness from beginning to end. I watched, there's a TV series now, and I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I thought, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to go watch all 3 movies so I know what the hell is going on. I know the characters, I know the concept, but I actually never watched the movie. It's very strange. I get that, but very so often the director's commentary behind the scenes is good fun. Lord of the Rings box set had some really good ones. Yeah, I'll have to watch that, Decimus. If it's funny, I'm in, because I absolutely love anyone. I like Terry Gilliam. I like to watch him jibber-jabbering. I just like funny stuff. I was working, and your dulcet tones make me just so relaxed. There you go. Yeah, great, babe. I haven't been meaning to watch that. Too much information, Tim. I've been meaning to watch Army of Darkness for God knows how long. And it's actually in my queue we got the Apple TV thing, and it's all through all of them. I can't remember what they're all called, but all of the Army of Darknesses are in my queue to watch. I just haven't done it. There's I don't know, there's enough Korean action films that it keeps me going. That, and I've been watching the X-Files lately. Huge fan of the X-Files. I cannot express how good the X-Files are. We need to put up on Twitch watch list in the top 5. We need to put that on the Twitch watch list in the top 5. That's a great idea. Actually, because we did movies. No, we did books. We did movies, didn't we? We did top 5 movies, top 5 books. Something like that. But we're going to, I don't know when, we're going to set a schedule where we're going to do an hour talking about movies and content. I think that'll be great. It's a huge part of our hobby. It's a huge inspiration to the hobby. Obviously, even bad movies like Deathstalker, and I don't want to say it's a bad movie. That's just rude. Even movies like Deathstalker that might not be as high production as other movies. But there's stuff in it that you see that can easily inspire you to do something as a GM. I mean, as you guys know, if you've been GMing any amount of time, the inspiration comes from almost anywhere. I mean, anywhere. You just look at something and you're like, oh, look, I can do that. Wait, maybe I can bring this into the game. It's nonstop. I mean, so and then you get to see into other creative processes that can help you kind of spur on. I just finished the Chaos Runes, and I spent a huge amount of time just watching movie scenes that were surreal, like Wes Anderson's movies. Got a lot of surreal scenes in them. There's a movie called The Cell that came out in the 90s. We talked about that last week. If you watch The Cell, just go to YouTube and watch some of the clips from The Cell. The movie is whatever, but the vision that the director had, just astounding. I mean, the colors in it alone are astounding. And then What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams. I just was watching a lot of surreal stuff just to get inspiration for these runes. That and a whole lot of physics videos. A whole lot of physics videos. Quantum mechanics. I know a little bit. I know just enough about quantum mechanics to get myself in trouble and look really stupid now. so there you go. I bet the movie Twitch channel will go off topic quite what I'm talking about. Probably. that seems to be the gist of all of these things. They really should all just be general chat. It seems to work the best. All right, so last trick of the trade as we are winding down here, and I think we actually have KFC coming for dinner. I think that's what we are planning to do. Let's see. When you get deep into physics stuff, it really messes. Dude, I tell you. The whole quantum thing where, what is it? A particle does not take on an aspect until you measure it. I think I got that right. Is that right? Does that sound about right? I'm like, no, it already has. My wife is actually, she was a double major, physics and mathematics. She's a little bit smarter than me. And I was talking to her about it, and I was saying, no, I mean, it already had the properties. You just measured the properties. And she said, no, the way you conceptualize the particle is based on the measurement that you give it. So if you do a different type of measurement or something, and I was like, oh. I don't know what's going on, but stop. And then there's fractals. Never heard of fractals. Did I say that? Fractals? Not factals, but fractals. But the cool thing is, all of that stuff, I watched probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of physics videos. And I am not a physics guy. I'm a history guy. All of that stuff bled into the Chaos Runes, and I'm actually most proud of all the rune schools that I finished. And I've got them all done now except 2, and I'll hit Dream Runes next week. I'm most proud of the Chaos Runes. Watching those physics videos gave me such a conceptualization of chaos that is, I think, a little bit different than what has been presented by like Michael Moorcock and other games in the past. That I think it's going to be Fractal Rock. There you go. I think it's going to be pretty cool. When I encountered Young's slip experiment as a teenager, I pretty much gave up the understanding anything anymore. There you go. A fair play to her. Yes, is this until you measure it, then it's that. Yeah, it's very weird, and I still can't quite get my brain around. And she explained it in very layman's terms, and I kind of understand that it doesn't take on the aspect. Your measurement of the particle defines the particle, because the particle itself, you can measure it different ways. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but it was very interesting. It's very interesting concepts, and the nice thing is that it applied, and this kind of gives us full circle. It applies to role playing so easily and so quickly. I would watch these videos. There was one I watched. It was a 50-minute. It was a TV show, I guess, from somewhere on YouTube, and I think about every 7 or 8 minutes, I'd hit pause, pivot around, and write up a rune. I thought, oh, this is a great idea for a rune, and I'd write up the rune, and then just go with it. And when you look at the Chaos runes, you'll see kind of what I'm talking about in a good probably 6 or 7 of them. They're very, very different. In college, Sheik's tried to explain to us that if you bounced a ball against a wall for a trillion years, it might go through the wall. I still scratch my head on that one. Yeah, Tim, we were talking about that. That actually isn't true because of the wavelengths of the particles and do something, this, that, the other. It's very interesting. The whole physics stuff, crazy fascinating. Some of the physics stuff is head-wrecking, yes. Even stuff like how weirdly the universe behaved just after the Big Bang. All of it, especially down at the quantum level. It's really, I don't know. It's really different. It was very cool stuff. I was watching a video explaining why Schrodinger's cat makes sense. When you open the box, the waveform doesn't collapse one way or another. It collapses both ways, but then so do you. So you are part of the waveform. There is both a you that sees the cat dead and a you that sees the cat alive. You just happen to experience one of those other paths. Oh, that's interesting. Hamburgers rule. That's the one constant. Yes, hamburgers do rule. So she was wrong. I'm not going to tell. I did. We actually had that conversation while we were talking about the quantum mechanics, and she was trying to explain to me the whole thing. That's interesting, Commander. And that's really the whole theoretical physics, I guess, is the field. And that's why it lent itself to the concepts of chaos. The concepts of chaos so very well, because I don't know, it's other than. It really is an other than, and it's a whole different. Einstein didn't agree with quite a bit of it. I don't know, it's just cool stuff, and hopefully it came out of the chaos knuckleheads properly. Read the 3-body problem. All right, I'll check it out. It's science fiction, isn't it? Yeah, it sounds like it. Cool stuff, though. Just very cool. Fractals, physics, quantum mechanics, and there was another thing else on the fluid of waves, fluid dynamics, something else. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I put in there, and you'll see it. It'll come out in the Chaos Rooms. Adam Roberts wrote a novel, Stone, with quantum uncertainty key to the plot. Oh, that's very cool. I love Adam Roberts. Wait, who wrote the Horse Clans? Is that the Horse Clans guy? Todd, who wrote the Horse Clans stuff? Adam, something Adam, wasn't it? I don't know. To the point of having a Robert Adams. Oh, so a different, not Adam Roberts, but Robert Adams. All right, that just sounds too convenient. That's way too convenient. That sounds like some quantum shit right there. So we're gonna drop all that and jump right into the last trick of the trade: do the unexpected. So this one's an interesting one. This one could be extremely fun. This one is there's an Adam Roberts and a Robert Adams. Not buying it. Not buying it. If I could do George Bush, I'd do a George Bush. Not buying it. Or whatever he said. What was it, cabbage or something? I don't know. Yeah, so do something that's just been weird. Like, I think the example I used, so they shift your game and they're going to the left and they're going off in this direction into the woods and you wanted them to go to the plains, have them find a magic weapon. There's just a magic weapon laying there in the grass. There's just something odd. There's a dead body with 4 arrows in it. And just, a broken wagon. That's become kind of my thing lately is carts and wagons. Yeah, I think I realized at some point in the last few years that earlier in our species' history when we were moving stuff by carts and wagons and whatnot, and if you're out there by yourself and your axle breaks and there's no trees, you're done. You're not done, but the wagon's done. You just leave it because you can't fix it. So you just move on. So my guess is there was more ruined wagons and carts, whether it's the Old West or back in the medieval period, than we're aware of. Hell, you can't drive down the highway without seeing 2 or 3 cars, parked somewhere. So doing something odd, doing something strange, it's unusual. It's going to make them all stop, and they're going to investigate it. And if it's a magic item, they're going to have to kind of unravel what the magic item is. And there's a good chance it's going to take time up, and it's going to occupy them enough in conversations and role playing and figuring out and reading what spells they need to cast, to decipher this thing for you to regroup and kind of catch your notes up with whatever you're going to do next. So the unexpected is always a good thing. The whole theme here is expect the unexpected, and one of the best ways to expect it is to just do the unexpected. You turn the tables on them. They've turned them on you. They've shifted your game from whatever direction that you're going. Now turn it right back on them, and it becomes this curiosity session, and that's a good thing. And all 5 of these tricks of the trade are kind of geared in that direction. It's really a distraction technique for your players, so that they get caught up doing something while you're trying to get caught up to do whatever it is they're doing, whatever direction they've taken you on. I have used the wagon dead body, find a note or clue encounter. Sometimes they check, sometimes not. Yeah, the wagon thing is a very good thing. Xin Lu wrote the 3-body problem, hard sci-fi with quantum physics at its core. Oh, that's cool. I'll check it out. When magic shows up in Steve's game, beware. I don't give it away often. Really the rat, like a swamp hag that puts out a cupcakes for the adventurers rather than you get your... I'm glad you caught that, Willie. I didn't know if that played well. She was trying to buy you guys off. She put cakes out. With 4 or 5 cakes for you guys to leave her alone to distract the whole thing, and it caused a little bit of confusion while so that she could kind of regroup and get into the fight. That was on the game that I ran a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. We need to get that's on YouTube. I need to get that out there. That was an awful fun, Willie. That was I had a lot of fun in that game. That was very cool. Expect the unexpected. Is this big? Yeah, there you go. We need no big brothers. None of that. That cupcake has expired. Anything with a chance of loot will get the players investigating 6 times. Oh yeah, that generally holds them up. Aren't we, Gretel and Hansel? Yeah, absolutely. We found paradise in his game, and we walked on by. We didn't believe it. Hell yeah, baby. It's all kinds of things we've done in that game. Good day from down under. How's it going, Heath? I have my Dr. Pepper right here, sir. So Heath enlightened us. So now Heath is from Australia. If you didn't pick up from the down under comment, Heath enlightened us Was it you, Heath? I'm pretty sure it was you that had a different size Dr. Pepper can from Australia than from the United States. It was very interesting. And we figured out, is it the metric? Is it the metric system? Which is interesting. That begs an interesting question. So I'm very particular, as everybody knows, with my Dr. Pepper, drinking it out of a 12-ounce can. It's a 12-ounce can here. This is what I drink out of. The metric system, do they get the size, do they get the mix wrong? Is the mix wrong in the smaller can or larger can or whatever it is? There were two different sizes, US and UK, no local Dr. Pepper. Yeah, so what's up with the United Kingdom? Was it the metric system, Heath? I think it was the metric system. It's very sad. I have a GB cab right now. It's 330 milliliters. I have no idea how to do metric to American standard. And that's another thing. When did they start calling it the American Imperial System? We never had an Imperial System. It's the American Standard System. The UK is 330 milliliters and US is 355 milliliters. So we're off by a smidgen. Not much. So that's, 11,000, what did you say, 11,1586? Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So, it was, when Heath put the picture up, it was a very tiny discrepancy between the two cans. It was kind of funny. That's good stuff. Now, I will warn you, for those of you who go to Mexico, or probably even Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, a little bit Arkansas, if you get Dr. Pepper, it's been bottled down further south, it comes with imperial sugar in it, and it is sweet, 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 sweet. That's Coke, Dr. Pepper, any of it is going to be crazy sweet. It's good. It's very good, but it's a little bit different than you're used to if you're drinking soda bottled a little further north. Mexico still uses good old classic sugar, good stuff. Pounds, ounces, pennies, farthings, etc. There you go. Yes, that's what I thought. When I was a kid, it was the metric and the American Standard System, and I guess the British. I don't remember talking about the British Imperial System, but I don't remember talking about the British when I was a kid. It was, when are we going to go metric or whatever. I think they're still having that bloody conversation, so whatever. But I don't care. I don't give a shit. I have no dog in that fight. I worked that out. Figured you were in Europe because of the comma. Yeah. There you go. Belgian uses comma. Oh, that's cool. I just thought it was a mistype, Commander Pete. That's funny. I had no idea. Metric rules. Yeah, I had no idea. That's funny. You use the comma. Good to know. Good to know. See, we have now learned. I don't know if it's useful, but we've learned something. That in Belgium we use the comma. They use the comma instead of the decimal point. When is the world going to go all to one form of currency? Probably sooner than any of us want. That would be my take. And I'm afraid it's going to be electronic, and it's going to be extraordinarily aggravating. I'm a big fan of if I have cash, I won't spend it. That's the thing. I look at that cash, I'm like, I'm not going to spend that. I got cash. But cards, you're like, whatever. Troll dough. That's what you need. That's what we need to do. We need to make a troll currency. We actually did that for a little while. We created coins that if you played in a game at a convention. Now, Tim, I think you were around when we were doing this. I know Todd was. Yeah, recap that for us. Yeah, exactly. If you played in a game at a convention, you got a bag of 10 coins, and the coins were worth a 10% discount at a purchase, I think, but you had to give us the coin so we could take the coin back and give it to other people that played in other games, and it actually it was pretty cool, except people didn't want to use their coins, and then we started running out of coins, so there you go. When it happens, it will be the sign of the apocalypse, that Kurt Cameron movie. Is it called Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it got complicated, Tim. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. That does sound coin, but yes, that's exactly what it was. Really funny. I had one. So we did two types of coins, and then one was just. This is the one that. No, this is my favorite. Now listen. So it's a real coin. The other one was kind of cheap. This one. Wait, what's going on? It's got the Dragon, Sword, Castles, and Crusade logo on the one side, and then Dwarven runes on the other. Good stuff. I'd like to do a whole set of those, actually. Look at that. That's been kind of smoothed out. Well, at any rate, I rarely used cards in shops, and this year happened. Oh yeah, it's all cards now. Everybody's done, and I don't really understand what's going on with here in the United States. Yeah, it was part of a Kickstarter, Commander. There's a coin shortage, and I'm not really sure why. We're all using more cards. I guess people are sitting on their coins. I'm not sure what's going on, but I do know that it's a big, giant, complicated mess. Yeah, Luther's like, Todd's like, no, none of this. Yeah, exactly, Tim. It's just a big, complicated mess. And I don't, sometimes I feel like it's just barely, it's barely holding together. And if we change any one thing, the whole thing is going to collapse. So man, maybe that's good. Maybe the, Tim will fix it. There you go. Maybe that's good. I don't know. Who am I? But it is what it is. It's the world that we live in. And there's very little that we can do about it. So, there you have it. All right, and on that note, we are done with Tricks of the Trade. So do the unexpected. That's our last thing. That's our last trick of the trade here. Game goes off rails, or if your Twitch stream goes off rails, do the unexpected. Hoarding bullets and coin for the coming apocalypse. It's probably a good idea, Lord Dailies. Get a few ramen noodle packages in there, then you'll be good. Barter system using TLG products will replace the current system. Sweet! Well, we should be good. Everyone else is going to suffer. But we are going to make more of these coins. I got somewhere, in fact, I designed the whole Dwarven numeral system. It's somewhere the hell down in here. How the Dwarvens do right numbers. So, and those will go on the coins. Because, of course, in the World of Air, dwarfs, the Vulgate is, dwarves is the kind of the beginning of all language and all that crap. But at any rate, yes, it is time to wind down because I'm getting off on another tangent. I already hoard Dr. Pepper Heath. That's already done. All right, I missed number one. Can you start over? Yep, there you go. All right, everybody. It was a great stream, as always. Thanks for showing up. I sure appreciate it. We're going to do a movie stream very, very soon. And my desk of infinite drawers. That's a great magic item. That is a great magic item for a wizard. Anyways, so we're off, guys. We will see you guys on Tuesday. We do Ask Me Anything, and then again next Thursday, GM's Tricks of the Trade, and sometime next week we're going to do a movie thing. And then, of course, Tim's doing World Anvil on Tuesdays at, I don't know, at some point, and then Haunted Hall of Painting on Wednesday. So lots of stuff going on here, just good stuff. The Desk of Many Treasures, there you go. 10 a.m. for Tim on Tuesday for the World Anvil. So everybody, thanks for showing up, and yeah, someone somewhere write a schedule down. All right, everybody, I'm off. We're going to do KFC tonight. KFC tonight. All right, everybody, y'all have a great weekend, great rest of your week, and have a great weekend. Stay safe, keep your head down, and all that business. Thanks a lot, guys.